I ask for the truth on behalf of Stephanie Phillips concerning relationship issues. I ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always, and blessed be to the crow, the carrier of souls from darkness into light. And we just cut the deck for you there, Stephanie, and move it to the side. And we'll deal out 3 cards. The first card we deal is in the position of the recent past. You call that the recent past influence. And the next card is the present influence. And then finally there, the third card is the immediate future influence. The recent past influence and the immediate future influence are about a moon phase apart there. So the recent past influence is about a moon phase behind, about 3 or 4 weeks between now and this time, last month you could say. And then of course the immediate future there between now and this time next month. And of course what's happening now, which I suppose is most important at the moment, is just here in the middle. But let's just go back here to the recent past and see what's been going on between you and this partner, this gentleman there. What's going on, and what's the vibration, or what has the vibration been? We've got the 5 of Cups. Crowley calls the 5 of Cups the Lord of Disappointment. 5 is loss. Cups is water or feelings or emotions, maybe a loss of emotions. In this case it's more to do with the distancing and ether. Maybe you became, just between now and this time last month, because you're posting on the free psychic readings group on Facebook, was a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it now, or whatever. And so maybe things have changed, but between now and this time last month, between now and the 4th of April, you could say, just forgive me to figure for the sake of argument, certainly you were becoming distanced from, and nevertheless, of course, if you look at the Crowley interpretation, the disappointment, the 5, the loss of emotions, loss of feelings, maybe. Maybe this is the reason why you've asked the question, what's the compatibility thing going on? Are we compatible or aren't we? Or what was the question really? In what context was the question asked? Let's see what's going on right now, and let's just see the energy of the present influence. This is of course what's vibrating right now, isn't it? And notice there you got the 2 of Wands, the Lord of Dominion, as Crowley calls it. This tends to focus more, though, the Crow tends to focus, yes, on Aries, maybe gaining control of the situation right now, becoming more, I suppose, self-esteem, in the sense of becoming more outgoing, more bold, more enterprising, more imaginative with what you do, of course. With that regard, that's another way of viewing it, isn't it? Yes, gaining dominion, gaining something that's yours, but nevertheless, it's about just really gaining control of the situation. One was, yes, had a bit of letdown in the recent past. Maybe this is gaining control of a relationship, in the sense the person you're with now is who it is, whereas the person who you've just recently fallen out with, you were disappointed with. You're not so much disappointed with the one you're with now, you were disappointed with the one you were with then, but now you feel as though you've got control over the situation because you've got somebody else. Is that what it is? That seems to make more of a logical sort of sense, doesn't it? I suppose if you were to look at it like that. But I'm sort of still sensing as though, for some strange reason, sort of getting this feeling as though it's something to do, nevertheless, with the disappointment of the person you're with now, or the person who was then. Unless he's changed or something, I don't know what's about to happen in the immediate future between now and this time next month. Let's just pull out the next card and we'll see what that is. We'll just flip the card over nice and slowly there, just to see what it's all about. Notice a major arcana card. There you had minor arcana energies, haven't you? The 5 of cups and the 2 of wands, but now you've got the major arcana card. You've got judgment. That's got a Sagittarius sort of feel to it, an energy there. Notice this is more to do with awakening though, and more to do with metamorphose, in the sense of metamorphosis, maybe changing in some regard. It's all to do with change anyway, isn't it? But doors opening for you, and of course maybe time with the moon there implying introspection, of course. Maybe it's a self-judgment. Of course, with judgment, in that sense, if it's to do with forgiveness, of course, that's putting aside your judgments, isn't it? That's to do with letting go of judgments. But it seems as though here it's more to do with yes decisions having to be made, doors opening and closing, maybe locked doors becoming open to you, but nevertheless we can't put aside the fact that there will be an awakening of some kind, just like on Judgment Day, when those who are naked all are naked before the Lord, and those who come out the graves, there are those who wear the loincloths and those who are naked, and of course the ones who wear the loincloths cover themselves up because they are the guilty ones, but the ones who are just naked have nothing to hide. And this is the thing: are you hiding your shame on the day of judgment or not? Or are you putting aside your guilt and shame and just accepting your innocence? For some, of course, on the day of judgment it is a revival for them, because they weren't guilty after all. They were wrongfully accused, whereas those who are guilty and got away with it won't get away with it. They are seen for what they really are. And this is what it's about, the awakening. Is it an awakening in the sense that the relationship isn't as bad as all that, isn't whatever it was that let you down, whatever you were disappointed with? Nobody's perfect, of course. We've all got one ear higher than the other, one eye lower than the other. We've all got one foot bigger than the other. I have anyway, strangely enough, and I only discovered that when I went to the shoe shop last time as well. But that's neither here nor there. That's nothing to do with it. But either way, nobody's perfect. Actually, we are judged by our imperfections, strangely enough. And maybe in a strange sort of sense, that will be the awakening for you, the rude awakening maybe for you, because you were expecting everything to be perfect, knowing that it isn't, but knowing that the very perfection is hidden within the imperfections. And maybe, how do you know what up is if you don't know what down is? And how do you know what right is if you don't know what wrong is? And in the same way, how do you know what right for you is if you don't know what not right for you is? And maybe this sort of working all this out. But you will, the door will be open, but the introspection will be there, asking yourself the questions: what is that a negative sort of dark sort of thing that sort of says introspection, sort of regrets upon, I wish I hadn't closed that relationship down and tried to move on? Or is that introspection saying, you know, it's not that bad after all, and maybe it was just a flash in the pan, or a flash in the dark, or whatever you want to call it. The disappointment was, well, not all that disappointing after all, because it just proves that he's human like me, and what the hell. Life's too short anyway. We're dead longer than we're living. We can't afford to bloody hold grudges or try and find fault with one another, because of course, to find fault with one another, how do you know what's right if you don't know what wrong is? But nevertheless, who gives a damn about the bad? Yes, we can try and avoid it, we can try and do what we can and learn from it, but at the end of the day, the good comes out of the bad, because we know what the bad is, so we can recognise the two. It's about the contrast at the end of the day, isn't it? And that's when the doors will be open, when wisdom will rain down upon you, when you will change. Maybe you will change as well as him, you will both change, who knows? Maybe there's no need for change, but the relationship itself will change as it evolves. in that sense, as it evolves. Let me just whack my whistle. And that's really notice in the door there are windows as well, so maybe although the doors are closed you can still see through the windows to what's on the other side, but it's up to you to open the doors. But it's one thing to have a key to a door and even open it, but it's up to you to decide whether you want to go through it. Of course, with it being a major arcana card, you've got no choice but to go through it. A major arcana energy is a major situation, and maybe this is what it is, a major decision that you've got to make between now and this time next month. You have got no choice in the matter. Well, you've got choices, but what I mean is you've got no power over changing it. You can choose whether the door will open, and you can choose to go through it or not. You will become aware of it, you will become awakened to it, and you will change, you will evolve, you will mutate, but nevertheless it is up to you to go through it and choose to go through that door. Or will that door slam in your face, and will it be a lost opportunity? That decision is yours, but for now these cards have spoken.